Hello. I never do this, but maybe I do now, and maybe I'll try. One of my goals at the end of this year and into 2026 is to kind of shake up my routines. I am a creature of habit, and so I think that if I want things to be different and feel different, I should do different things. So I've never really vlogged before, or blogged, or whatever this is. I've spoken to a camera before, because every now and then I get the courage to make content for my band, but I've never done anything like this before. So I thought I would just check in. If you don't know who I am, I don't know why you would see this, but I am a touring musician in a band called Keep Flying. My name is Henry. I sing and play guitar. I'm not the kind of person that posts on the internet. I don't almost at all. I mostly repost things that people post about me, and even then, I don't do it a lot. And I'm looking for ways to kind of shake up my life and my routines, and so I thought I would check in. If you're familiar with my work, what a pretentious prick. If you're familiar with my work, you know that Keep Flying put out a full-length record in April, and since then, I've pretty much been on tour the whole time up until about November of the year of our Lord 2025. And I came home, feel I have disappeared from some friendships, some fan connection, some my band connection. But the difference this time of other times that I've kind of come home and felt depressed and felt lost and gone and spent and exhausted and tired, is that I even with them, a few of the closer people in my life, I've said something which I think is important. Again, the theme of today's video is shaking things up. So normally, if I come home and I have, I always have depression. That's how it goes. Some people don't understand how that really works. It's not something you just go to the store and pick up and have for a while. It kind of hangs out. It's a lifetime subscription. And that doesn't always mean you're always depressed. It just means you have it. It's just here. It's just something that hangs out with you a lot. But this time, I came home really wanting to not let it take over, and kind of, I had all these goals. We just put the record out, not just, but 6-7 months ago, but I really want to have music out. I want to kind of keep making content and not get lost in the sauce. I have these plans for videos and all this stuff, and I really wanted to dedicate my time to it, and it just didn't happen. And it's been weeks and months. My band and I put pressure on ourselves to kind of stay productive because we don't have a label or a boss or somebody bankrolling this. It's only us. And if you want to be relevant and you want to be, on the top of people's minds, you have to do that work. And I really wanted to, commit and do it this time, and I didn't. And it wasn't because I didn't want to. It was because I fell really deep into a post-tour depression, which I don't like using because I don't like saying that anymore. I used to feel that way because back when I was 20, I would get really juiced about going on tour and be like, yeah, this is the best thing I've ever done with my life. And it is. I'm not trying to say that it's not. It's everything that I am. But, back then I would just be sad not to be on the road. This time, now I'm 36, and it's just, I have depression on the road, off the road, whatever. The problem is the way that we tour is that it takes a lot out of me physically and mentally. And the physical aspect has been waning on me a lot more over the past few years. I don't have the bones or the muscles of a 20-something. I've been big guy my whole life. And I'm trying not to be so big, which is tough. Part of it is because I would like to not be, horrified by how I look, but mostly because I feel my functionality declining. And I have been for years. And this time, I know that I've made some progress, and yet I feel like I've made no progress. I haven't given so much about a shit about what I look like much in my life, but I felt the dysmorphia coming on, and it really kind of took it out of me. couple things happened that really made me feel shitty about it. One I will share with you. One nice thing that I love about having lost a little bit of weight is that I can just fit in a normal airplane seat without the not shoulder strap, the seatbelt thing, the extension. There's nothing more humiliating than having to be like, excuse me, can I get the thing? I'm large and I can't fit in the seat that any normal person should be able to fit in. And I don't need one anymore, which is really great. Made me feel very good. And I also don't, I'm in a desk chair, you can't see it, but like I don't protrude into my neighbor's seat anymore. Like that's cool because nobody punishes you more than a airport guest who needs to sit next to a big dude, as if I chose to inconvenience your day. It feels great. Yeah, so I felt kind of normal, and I felt, there's a level of acceptance with that, which I hate that I even need, but that's what you need. But I recently went to Universal Studios, which was a grand old time. If you have the means, I highly recommend going. A friend hooked me up, so I don't have the means, but like whatever. But I got to go, and some of the rides, I didn't fit, and I really thought I would. I thought once I fit into like an airplane seat, I don't have to have this conversation anymore. Like, okay, great, you hit a nice goal, you fit here, which means you don't have to do this guesswork. Well, am I going to fit in the seat? And I was like so sure. I didn't do the test thing. They have the cool little test to make sure that you're safely in the seat. And I didn't do one for some roller coaster we were going to go on. And I got in, and then they had to remove me in front of, a long line of people. And that felt bad. If I could be so bold as to describe it as bad, that really fucked with me. And I feel like, even though I don't actively think about it every day, but this was a month or so ago, and it's kind of stuck in my brain, and it made me feel like this work that I've been doing to shrink to a weight that is acceptable, at least for me, has been for naught. So I realized that it's not, and it all matters. Like, I'm not putting this up there so that people can go in any comments or send me messages, be like, you got this. Like, I know. Respectfully, I know. Although I appreciate it, but I don't need that. It just feels demoralizing. And these are already incredibly divided times, as I'm not getting on here to tell you that. It's just, God, we do so much to make sure that other humans don't feel human. It's bad. And I've felt that way my whole life. I've wanted to be anything else but human for 36 years. And like, all I'm trying to be, and not even just because I want to be like everyone else. I don't. Like, it's like that's the last thing I want to be. But I would like to be able to function. Again, another theme of what I'm talking about, functionality. My functionality as physically is declining. I'm trying to change that. And in order to function in this beautiful country of ours, you have to be an acceptable size, an acceptable shape. And I've never been that. So, I just thought I was on my way to that. It made me feel like I wasn't. I will get back on the horse. I will figure it all out. I will get there. But that was a big setback. And I haven't told a lot of people that. And now I have. Maybe 3 people will watch this, and that's a lot. So there's that. And then also, creatively, I've hated all of my ideas. I came home and I had all these ambitions of like, I'm going to write the Great American Rock Record, and we're going to have a whole bunch of content to put out next year. And we're going to do this whole thing. And I'm going to make sure that we don't have to wait 3 years to put out records, because like my band kind of fell into that, but that's my fault because I'm the guy who writes the songs. And I'm like, trying not to do that. And I came home. I've started and stopped a million things, which is kind of part of my process. My band doesn't have like a lot of music out, but like for every, one song that exists as Keep Flying songs, there's 3 that it came from. So like, it's part of my process, but it was really upsetting this time for some reason. And I also wanted to make these, I don't want to be a content creator. I don't want to be like a TikToker guy. It's not something that I think I'm geared to do. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't feel it It's not an ambition of mine necessarily. It just kind of comes with the territory of what we do. But I still wanted to try. I came home being like, I'm gonna try and just see like if this makes sense. And I just didn't. I just couldn't. I would sit there and I would start talking to the camera, hello, and then I would hate what I was doing. I would hate how I looked or how I sounded, and being like, what's the term? The comparisons, like the cancer of creativity or something. I can't remember. I'm an idiot for not remembering. But like, being on there makes me compare myself to everybody else who's on there, and that sucks for me. That doesn't work for me creatively. Some people, it's just talking to a camera and saying what's on your mind. That's a profound thing to do, that I watch people of all walks of life able to just do. I don't have the ability to do that. I have too much doubt. I can't get up there and be opinionated. I feel like my opinions are too nuanced, and I don't want to get on stage essentially and have something to say about something that I really don't know a lot about. People's lack of fear of being wrong is crazy to me. That's crazy. Of all the things that we should be fearing, we don't fear being wrong. What they do fear, though, is being accountable to being wrong. Because people get up there and say whatever and then don't learn, which I think is nuts. I'm not saying I would fall into that. I'm happy to be wrong because I'm happy to learn and know the truth about things. But I don't want to get up there and be all controversial and, give me your hot takes, because I'm only qualified to talk about a few things, in my opinion. I could sit here and talk to you about my experience in the music industry and my own life, and that's about it, because that's all I know. That's all I'm sure of. That's one thing that I've resigned myself to do the past few days. Like, just I've seen creators and musicians say it like indirectly to me over the past few days, like a sign: write what you know, do what you know. Well, I know me, and I know that's about it. So that's what I'm doing. That's why I'm doing this thing, and I'm doing something I've never done, and just checking in. I'm flying to New York in a few hours to meet up with my band to play our last 2 shows of the year. Inevitably, that will get some of my juices flowing, because it's a short little stint, in and out. Just fun local shows. I expect to see some people that I know and that I like, and that will make me feel good. It will be a nice little holiday treat. Maybe that will, unlock some of the things that have been stuck for the past month or so that I've been home. I did manage to break through and complete a couple songs that I actually like, and hopefully the band does too. We'll see if that turns into something. So, if this interested you, thanks. I appreciate you checking in with me. I'm happy to check in with you. Maybe this is something I'll do, even if nobody sees it. Maybe this is just something I'll do to get some thoughts out of my head and be my way of connecting. Most people would just type up a story or a post or whatever, but I don't know. It just seems like boring to me. So whatever. Anyway, thanks for watching. I don't know how to end this or start this. So I will just put it up. Maybe I'll cut it a little bit. Maybe I won't. We'll see. Thanks for watching. Maybe I'll see you this weekend.